Now, if you ever feel that your restaurant interior design and restaurant, cafe, bar, whatever you're operating isn't quite right, or maybe you're opening a new location and you can't quite get your head around how to make it all work together. Now, what a lot of people do is jump straight onto Pinterest and type in restaurant interior design, pizza shop interior design, and start looking for things they like and clicking on them and making a board. And that's fine, that's great. It does one part of it. But what often ends up happening is you end up with a bunch of random images of things that you like, which is fine, but it's not taking you to that next level and giving another reason for people to come to you. Now, what I've always said and what a lot of other experts say is it's not one big thing, whether it comes to, your operations or your design. It's no one big thing that makes people come to you versus other people. It's lots of one percenters that add up. And adding this process in will give people a few more percentage reasons to come to you instead of going to your competition. So I'm going to show you the process that you can do to create the best possible interior design for your venue. And I'm going to rush through this as quick as possible. So where it should start, instead of starting at Pinterest, and we'll come back to Pinterest, is figuring out exactly who you are and who you're doing it for. So this process, I use my restaurant concept questionnaire that I've built up across hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of restaurant, cafe, bar designs. And what this does is it digs into your thoughts and what's in your mind to get them down on paper or get them down on screen, to get some written language about what you're trying to do, why you're trying to do it, and who's it for. So the sort of questions you got to be asking yourself are what your business values are. Like, are you authentic? Are you cool? Are you trustworthy? Are you community focused? Are you like a street kind of urban feel? Are you systemized? Are you world class? Are you rebellious? Like, what are the words that speak to you and your concept? And once you understand that, it starts to help you put a box and a boundary around what you're doing. If you don't have this box or this boundary, it becomes a lot harder to choose things to go on your walls, the type of lighting, the furniture. When you walk into a lighting shop, there are just too many lights in there and you have no idea what to choose. Same with like a furniture wholesaler. So many chair options. Sure, if something looks cool, it's comfortable, maybe you go for it. But if you've got this boundary or this box to work within, you get a lot clearer around this type of chair, the type of furniture, the color that you need, the type of light. Yeah, the tiles, the timbers, the paint colors, becomes a lot easier to make those choices. Because if you think about a bakery, right? You might want to be a world-class bakery specializing in croissants, the best the world's seen. You're just an expert in your craft. And then that visual language of the space that you're going to create is very different to if you want to be the local neighborhood bakery where everyone feels welcome. They bring their dogs down, their kids down. And that's a very different experience to a world-class space. I'm not saying that the bakery is not, like, in a sense, world-class, like people love it, it's incredible. But the way you present that and communicate that in your interior are different things. One of them, you're trying to create awe and inspiration and see the level of skill and technical expertise you to have. The other one, you're trying to create something local and warm and welcoming and comforting. So that is a awesome place to start. After that, and there's a lot of these, and it just digs into it, your inspirations, your motivations, what your long-term vision is, what risks you have to success, the big idea or the founding concept that you have in, how you want people to feel when they walk in there, what your space will, what you'll be famous for, whether it's your product, your location, your design, your service, what is it? What's the thing that people are going to talk about? Other brand, design, colors, other spaces that you love. And so just thinking about it can be like, computer brands, furniture brands, like clothing brands. They speak a language that speaks to you. And though you are creating these for a target market, for a customer base, these are also your businesses and they're close to your heart and they have to represent you because that's your unique vision that you bring to the world that is special and unique. So you need it to tie into your loves as well. So, yeah, and then there's your key things around your average customer spend, how many seats, what, the, type of, the 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 ty what's on your menu, your hours, whether you're selling alcohol or not. It just helps you understand exactly, yeah, this is what I'm doing. So then you're looking at the people that are using it. Are they near local workers? Are they local residents? Are they walking? Are they driving? Are they nearby and they drive? They're driving across town because, you're the best in the area, in the city. So again, the different people who are using this have different requirements. If you're there for professionals on their short lunch break and they're, highly paid professionals and lawyers and accountants and whatnot, and and you're doing a sandwich shop, well, your seating type and the amount of time and the speed and the way you present it is very different if it's a local hangout where, some mums will come down, creators come down, some local workers. Like, that's a very different experience despite offering the same product. So needing to know who that, and then the different day parts when people will use you, whether it's coffee, breakfast, lunch, afternoon, evening, late evening, dancing, sports watching, what is it? And then once you understand that, you're creating seating areas and experiences and you're communicating them based on the different day parts that you expect or that people will use you for. Following that, you got to look at your competition, right? Like, so you got to think about whether it's the local competition, because you might have a Japanese restaurant and then there's an Indian and there's a Korean and there's a European and there's whatever, another thing along there. And when people are sitting around, they're thinking, oh, what do I feel like for lunch or dinner today in that local area? Or it might be a conceptual competitor. If you're barbecue and people are thinking, I want barbecue, well, should I go to this place? Should I go to this place or that place? And so you want to think about what their strengths are and what their weaknesses are. So whether it's ease of access, car parking, street presence, service, price, menu, quality, environment, all these things that add up that people will subconsciously in their head. I know it because I've done this so many times. I can analyze that list. But Joe and Jane Public just went, oh, I'd rather go to John's barbecue shack rather than Jimmy's barbecue shack because they just know they want to go there. And it might be because of comfort, ease of access. It's so much easier to get there. The service is better, the quality's better, whatever it is. You want to try and stack as many of those things in your favor to give people reasons to come to you instead of someone else. And so that's it. And then once you've done this exercise, you want to write a sentence or a paragraph to bring all of that together so you would know exactly who this is for, what you stand for, and what you are. So that's that exercise. And that's really important because it gives you a written language to then bring into your visual and design language. And so rather than starting here, now you start moving into a real concept, a real understanding of this. And I'll show you an example project. So if you look at this is a dumpling shop, right? He does hand-rolled fried dumplings. And this guy's a second-generation Chinese immigrant to New Zealand. His mum taught him how to make dumplings. He loves his mum. She still makes them out at their little production facility. He's got 5 stores. He loves his Chinese roots. He's ambitious, but he also loves like contemporary street kind of urban culture. He loves hip hop and basketball. And like, how do you combine those two things into a concept to give those authentic Chinese roots, but also that contemporary street kind of culture? And so what that language did is we looked through all this. It's like looking at Chinese street eats. It's that hip hop, cool, resilience, tough kind of element to it. So we looked at Chinese street restaurant imagery and then layering hip hop and basketball culture on top of that. So if you look at these, and so then it's jumping into Pinterest and actually typing that exact language in. So we had a board that was completed for that. And so you start to find the sort of imagery. It's just based on typing in Chinese street restaurants. And you find these cool young things hanging in there and you start digging into what this means visually so that you're creating a visual interior design experience that connects to your brand. So, and it connects to your customers. Chinese street eats. So these images is what start to come together. There's that image that I talked about, a couple of other dudes, and then you start to bring things together. finding other images that speak to this, and then landing on a collection of images that speak to Chinese street eats. And then all you're doing is you're digging into this. You're going, all right, what's in these images? So is it, oh yeah, there's textured concrete walls. You see that in a couple of them. See these posters that are on the walls here, and they're like all these, and this one, all these random posters kind of put on the wall, no frames. All right, so that's showing up quite a lot. We see a lot of aqua greens in this photo, this one up in here. And so those aqua greens are coming through as well as all these square tiles and kind of half height, what they call dado line tiling along there. We see these Chinese characters coming through and light boxes and signage. See a little bit of stainless steel coming through in a few different things. Definitely see cheap, simple furniture that's coming through in each of these images. These fluorescent lights are shining through. And so we see all these little connections between these images. And then if we bring that into our interior design and our space is going to feel like this. And I'll show you exactly the finished product of this space. And so this is what it was. It was this empty, failed Malaysian place. And he came in there and did this to it. You can immediately see this connection between this place and these images. Some things are stolen directly from it. Like, there's this line here, this data line, and this textured concrete wall. It looks exactly like that image. You got this cheap, simple furniture. You can see this edge detail on these tables. It was brought through to here as well. The Chinese characters in the light box like these. You can see the posters on the wall that don't have any frames. See the fluorescent lighting that was brought in, that was in these images here. And then the hip hop basketball element layered on top of these things. And you can just see there that connection, that this image sits directly with these. And what it did was create an environment that was familiar to people, that spoke to the concept. I had people contacting me saying, hey, it feels like being back home in Hong Kong with my parents when I go into that space. And so there you can see there everything coming together. This cost him $60,000 to $80,000 to do. It was an existing space. It's so much more cost effective to do that, to take over an existing restaurant, cafe, or bar, because you're not paying for your extraction, you're not paying for your bathrooms, fire protection. A lot of that stuff's done, so your money is spent on the cosmetic work normally. So that's that process. Hopefully that gives you a good sense of the strong benefit of going through this process and how it's not too difficult to do as well. Within my program, I've got all the templates for all this. I run you through it all, but hopefully that helps. I'll see you on the next video.